Hey, I've got a different kind of video for you today. My longtime customer and friend, Cass Nichols, has been turning wrenches as a professional technician now for about 24 years. And if he knows one thing, he knows toolboxes. His current one is a Snap-On XXL Epic box, and he's going to look at the Monster Mobile bottom box, hutch, and side cabinet that I currently have on the truck. He's going to compare the two and talk about the features and benefits that he finds in the Monster setup.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to lift it up all the way because it's locked.
It's okay, we can change that.
It's, number one, it's locked, and number two,
there's no room.
There's no room. The truck's too small. Toolbox is too big. So
clearly, it's
the truck. I'm 7.5 feet tall. This is like 9 feet. Toolbox is just too big.
Is it though? Is it really?
Oh man, good thing we can see in the dark. But I'll bust out my Coast flashlight here.
Whoa.
So, all right, so if you want to get down on my level, you can see. So one interesting feature, I know we can't lift this up, but we're just going to kind of do this on the down and dirty. So you see all those holes over there? I kind of like that because if you got like a miscellaneous screwdriver selection you want to keep out, or you're just like plinking on top of your toolbox, or you got some of those, you know, electrical screwdrivers that are kind of shielded, protected, it'd be a good place to have them just so you can reach up there. I do like the ability to put all your air tools and everything up here too though, because if I were, because what I'm trying to talk Lindsay into doing is pulling this box off the truck so we can do a video where we would take everything from my XXL Snap-On toolbox and see if we could fit it into this guy. And I don't mean like just packing the drawers full, I'm talking usable. I think we could do it, but you know, it talked this guy into letting us do it. I just went and looked at a box that's 43 years old, and I just opened this one up, and the drawers are about the same thickness, like they really are. But they use what's called a friction slide, right?
Yep.
Okay. And these are on rollers. And this is pretty nice. I think that I could take, you know, like it would collapse down a little bit. These aren't necessarily as deep as the Snap-on drawers. You know, like this, the depth isn't that.
It's not as big as their Masters and the Epics. Those are 30 inches deep, but this one's 25.
It's not bad. I mean, like you can make do.
Most the standard depth of most toolboxes is 25.
The way that mine's set up right now, like this would be my socket drawer, like hands down. Like, but my socket drawer is not like a drawer that I open constantly because I have a lot of stuff stashed in my roll cart, right? And my roll cart I like wheel around the shop, but it's got like a lot of my standard stuff, which I do use. It's got my larger impact sockets, a lot of metric sockets that I don't use on a daily basis. So that's what I would have in here, but I would load this drawer full. So, and what's the weight on them? What's the
150 pounds per pair of slides. And the nice thing about the construction of this box is 9 out of the 17 drawers have the dual slides on them for the extra capacity.
Yeah. So I mean, I have a lot of sockets, and I would feel comfortable putting all my sockets in there. I would probably, seeing as I would have this nice nifty hutch, I would have to get like some hooks or something like that. I would hang some of my really, really big sockets up just for show.
And you can do it too, because the back panel is like it's pegboard.
I wouldn't put pictures of my kids on there. That'd be a waste. Oh, something I'm more proud of. My sockets. I love my children. I just wish they would hurry up and leave the house. That's true.
Well, you know.
This right here would probably be my wrench drawer. I have a lot of wrenches. I would have to. I have some impressively large wrenches, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I'd have to hang some up too.
If you gotta flaunt it.
Yeah, if you got it flaunted, that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I like the drawer depths and everything. I'm still saying the next time you get a box in, we need to like do that.
Well, what I will probably wind up doing.
And then look, here's the infamous lockable drawer. Lindsay's like, well, you can put your scanner, your laptop. I'm saying, like, in this neighborhood, you put your pistol in there, but you leave it unlocked.
For easy access.
Yeah, you might want to actually leave it out. No, nope. What's good is if you work in a shop and you're going to be working, like a lot of shops, not necessarily the shop I work at right now, but a lot of shops, the way they work, and so you have like your toolbox, and you'll take your roll cart and you'll go and you'll load all your stuff in your roll cart, and you'll go work on whatever job, and your toolbox is going to be kind of across the shop, out of sight, out of mind. But what I would do is I would put like my wallet and my whatever just in here, and then I would just lock it up, because you know, it's not that everybody in the shop is dishonest, you just don't want to find out that there's somebody in the shop that's dishonest. So that's the only drawback. But I mean, I haven't worked in a shop where I was like really concerned with anybody that worked in there, but you know, but if I had, you know, whatever, I would probably, whatever my valuables were, I would probably keep locked up. Keep the tool guys out of your wallet. Just keep it locked up, right? I do like the drawers, but see, you know, like on mine double XL. So I have like, this is just my dedicated. This was where I keep my power tools, my electric tools, my air tools, stuff like that. But I would 86 that in a heartbeat because I'm going up here. I put them all up here in the top so I can get to them quicker. That's how I like it. That's how I like to set up. That, and you know, I'm getting a little bit older, so bending over is a pain. You know, like,
but you know, I don't hear. I mean, I think what guys tend to do is when they use the hutch, they'll store the stuff down there and then put it up to use. But there's not a good reason to not put it up there all the time.
I would have it up there all the time.
Because one thing I've found a lot of guys use a hutch for is just kind of a catch-all, unfortunately, and it gets real full up there real quick with stuff that,
you
know,
the best. I used to work with a guy and he had a hutch on his toolbox and he had like mountain of bolts and crap like on one side.
I mean,
so, and one day he's like, I'm gonna clean this stuff up. So he opened a drawer that was like this, roughly this-ish size, and he opened the drawer and that was a junk drawer. But the problem was, and so if you go on my toolbox, you will not find a junk drawer. I have 2 drawers that I keep like pens and papers and like where I write my time down on all my jobs and tickets and whatnot. But they're like 2 unusable drawers on my toolbox. They're about this size. You know, they got a writing top on them like that. But you know, you don't really put tools in there. I keep like pin lights in there, and I keep just little here and there's. I mean, they're not usable. If you could go to a Snap-on and you just go and tell them like, do not make this drawer. All right, this is unusable. Take 2 of the drawers, make 1 drawer. You know. Yeah,
the feedback I hear regularly about any toolbox really is those narrow drawers, and it would be better for most guys to have more longer drawers.
Yeah, like,
you know,
like
that span
drawer,
at least 2 banks.
Like having a few of these is okay because I'm gonna lay all my pliers flat. I'm not gonna stack them.
Right.
Because just for me, it's easier to go and whenever I'm doing inventory, like so on my roll cart, I have my pliers are stacked in a drawer similar depth, not exactly this deep right here. But I have them stacked like that, and so I've been noticing lately that in my little organizer that I'll miss one every once in a while because some of the screwdriver or some of the pliers just kind of lay flat, right? But in this kind of drawer right here, I'm gonna lay them flat. I'm gonna know there's gonna be a hole. Trust me. Back to the tool size. I've got enough tools. I would know that it was missing. But no, in a drawer like this, I would absolutely know if I was missing a set of pliers or if I had pliers out on a job somewhere that I didn't, you know. And especially if it's something in my toolbox that I'm not using every day, like if it's my specialty snap ring pliers or it's my PZWs or something like that, I'm gonna come running in here and I'll know like instantly that there's something missing.
So that's an interesting point. Address that if you would, especially for the younger techs just coming into the business, about the value of organization and efficiency.
Oh, it's everything. I mean, if you're spending time looking for something, you're wasting time. I mean, you're not making money. So if I go and I open a drawer and my first thing I have to do is clear a pile of crap to find said tool, then I'm behind. Because, you know, for me, it's all about organization. So I can just make my routines. Because whenever I look at a job, I look, and you know, while I'm diagnosing a job, I also look and see like, what am I gonna need? Like my roll cart should have everything I need. It's all laid out the way I use it. And then my drawers and my roll cart kind of go from most used to least used. So most used on top, least used on the bottom. But I have the stuff in my roll cart that I need to check out jobs, to do jobs. I have like, you know, my pressure testers and stuff are in the bottom drawer. I have like some, you know, disconnect tools, you know, on the AC lines or fuel lines or coolant lines, stuff like that is down there. Stuff to clean brake caliper, you know, brake caliper pins, a little brush kit that's down in there. And then my next drawer up is my electrical test, like battery tester, amp tester, you know, like just stuff like that coming up. And then you get up to my hammer and chisel drawer, and then you get up to my, you know, my hammer and chisel drawer also has like, you know, like some strap wrenches for oil changes and miscellaneous, you know, like we get to do oil changes on a Toyota. See, the reason why I do oil changes, I'm the only guy in the shop.
So do you find a particular benefit then, because I think we were talking about this last week, on, watch yourself to take this all out, on a drawer like this that's full extension where the back of the drawer comes out to be flush with the front of the box?
Yeah, because if you go look at my Snap-on box, we were talking about this last week, my socket drawer doesn't open all the way. It gets to, my socket drawer gets to right about there. And then I have to like, and so the way I have it organized is I put like some heavy stuff back here just because I want it sitting in the back, because in the front, you know, I don't want to fall over and flop over. And plus that, like some of the sockets I don't use every day. Like a 2-inch socket, I'm not using that. I don't work in that shop, you know, but like once a year I use that socket, you know. What is to show off, to, you know, tap a spark plug on, I don't know, something, right? But I don't use it that often, so it's just in the back. But on my Snap-on box, the drawer pulls out that far. So having the drawer pull out that far is good. On my wrench drawer, there's another drawer that's like that too, because in the back is where I keep all my really, really large wrenches, like 2 inches, you know, like when you go and you gotta kind of like fish that dude out, it's a pain. It's not easy. So, and then it cuts into the efficiency thing, because, you know, if you're having to like reorganize your toolbox to get tools out, you're not efficient. So guys that are working on commission, even guys that are on like the hybrid system, you know, like those little things count. And, you know, like, well, I say 5 minutes here, 2 minutes here, 1 minute here. Well, at the end of the week, if you get an extra half hour, you know, an extra $20, $30, whatever your commission rate is, or however the hybrid system works, or that's a big deal. And that adds up, you know. You could go, that's like $1,000 a year. So you're thinking like, oh, it doesn't matter. I can promise you, you can make an extra $1,000 by just being organized and being clean. So, because if you know where all your stuff is all the time, you're never looking for it, doesn't cost you money, because then you're like, because back in the day, when I had a smaller toolbox, actually it's like 7 toolboxes. And so I'd have like different boxes, you know, and so I'm constantly like repeating buying stuff. Where is that 13mm wrench? You know, I'm like, I'm looking for a flank drive, where's my flank drive, where's my flank drive? Nothing. I can't find it. So I got a bigger box, got to organize, put all my stuff in one drawer. I don't have like 9 drawers with 3 different, you know, sets. Like over here I have my wrenches and my screwdrivers and, you know, my feeler gauges. And over here I got my stubby wrenches and, you know, my sockets. You know, like that's just inefficient. Like, so the way I would organize this is like my impacts are going to be at the top. I probably have my scan tool would probably be in a cabinet just to keep it out of the dusty area, because it's not like I'm grabbing that guy all the time. I'd probably put it at the top shelf here, something like that. This is going to be my socket drawer, hands down, go to. I already know that's going to happen. Over here, I don't know what to do with this. I mean, I would probably have a spot for my like wallet keys, whatever, but for the most part, I would probably something would go there, something interesting. You know. I'd get rid of my pen drawer, obviously. This would be my wrench drawer, hands down, no doubt about it. But the neat thing is with the pegboard on the back, I'd put my big wrenches up there, because I love my big wrenches. I just, you know,
oh yeah,
they're just, you know, they're just pinned in the drawers. You know, I'd love to show them off. Like, hell of the pictures of the kids. Look what I got! I got a 2-inch wrench. Check it out, fellas. You know, like, what do you use that for? For sure.
All the women dig him, and the guys want to be like him.
Yeah, no, they don't. But that's a lie. That's a myth. But the good thing is, the other thing I like about this part right here is, so your blowable cases, your stackables. That's what I would load in there.
Yeah.
I don't keep nuts and bolts in my toolbox, so that's my number one. That's my number one thing. I've never been a fan of storing junk. Like, I don't mind like having like some bins and stuff like that, but if it's going in here, you know, I paid a lot of money for my toolbox. I'm not putting nuts and bolts, trash in it. It's gonna have like tools and tools only. But that means I have an empty drawer, then I have an empty drawer. I'm not putting junk in there. But I see too many toolboxes that, you know, like, well, this junk drawer's full. Let's move down to this one, and let's move down to this one.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, guys. I mean, like, you're paying to store your trash.
Well, that's another point, is that you can break down the cost of any toolbox to the square inch and how much that costs. It's a question of,
you might be able to do that.
well, I mean, there's some math involved, but it can be done. So if you know you're spending,
if I have to take a shoe off and we're gonna pass like 15, you know, then, you know, right out your guy. When you go look in somebody's toolbox and, you know, they have like a pile of trash and in a drawer, and you're just like, whoa, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And like, what's the point? I mean,
and when you add up how much money per square inch was spent on storing the junk, you know, it devalues
like
how much you're getting out of the box.
At that point, why are you buying a $12,000 box? Why aren't you buying like a $3,000 box?
Or a cardboard box.
Or, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
like,
at that point.
you know, like, here you go.
Here's your nut storage right there.
Trunk box right here. So I saved you about $5 grand. I'll sell it to you for $20.
Now that's a money saving tip.
So there are a lot of benefits to being it. You know, you hear a lot of shop owners like, well, you just don't understand how hard it is to be in business for yourself. If you're lazy, it's really hard.
It's sure.
But you know, it's like any other business. If you're in business and you enjoy it, then you know it rolls by. Time goes by fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot to do. I mean, if you own your own gig, you're always busy doing something, but it's not particularly difficult. Like, sometimes you got things you got to work through that you didn't anticipate. But the one thing I love about being in charge, or you know, having my own business, is being creative and get to come up with your own like ideas and stuff like that, and see if they work and if they don't, and how to fix them. And that's what really makes business fun. But a lot of people are like, you know, like they just go and they just beat their head against the wall, and you're just like, well, why? You got to be different than everybody else. Like, I mean, that's my whole deal. Like, I can't be conventional. I mean, I'm never gonna. I don't compete with other shops anyways. But why would I want to be conventional? Like, I want to get work done. I don't want to throw parts at them. I want to have happy customers. I want to make good money. You know, like there's a formula there, but you have to figure out what formula works for you, and then you have to go and you know, work hard too. So that's the other part. I mean, I would much rather try my own idea, find out it's stupid and fail, than fail at doing someone else's stupid idea.
Oh, we have a lot of those.
I mean, that
happens a lot.
Oh, there's a lot of that. Yes.
Yeah. This guy right here. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that one out there. That might be the smartest thing I've ever said. I fail a lot.
Well, most people do who own a business. I mean, because you're going to have to try different things, and they're not all going to work. You just have to.
I mean, if you hit home runs all the time, you'd be playing for the Yankees. You wouldn't be like.
I mean, and that would be strange.
You wouldn't be scrubbing toilets with George Costanza.
But you wouldn't be good enough to hit home runs all the time if you didn't strike out a bunch either. And that's the other thing too. I mean, you wouldn't develop that skill. You wouldn't develop the experience because you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
why stuff doesn't work.
I've had tons and tons of failures. You learn so much from failure, and guys, sometimes it's better to fail and then be successful because then you appreciate your success a whole lot more. Because there's times when I've hit it out of the park and I've had like a really good run, and I probably, you know, didn't appreciate it as much as I should. And then, you know, when you hit a rough patch and you're like, oh, man, this is not fun. Why am I doing this? And you get all frantic and hectic and all that. You know, I just kind of ran through some of that. You know, as growing a small business, you run through those problems, and I had that. You know, just as late as last week. You know, like I had a major turnover in my business, but you know, I made it through the weekend. I went and got a bunch of stuff done, did some number crunching, and everything's gonna be fine. We're just gonna keep on keeping on, you know.
Yeah, and you got to adjust. You adjust. It's just what you do.
The one thing I'm looking forward to is shoot my videos. Man, Lindsay's got me addicted. He does all these great videos. You know, he talks about this toolbox right here. You know, it's a great video. The greatest video is the pliers fighting.
The pliers fighting.
They're like, I mean, like, you can't make that stuff up.
I did make
Hollywood's not making that up.
No, Hollywood's not making it.
They're probably doing it for choice, though.
And they use CGI. They probably would not have used real pliers.
I think it would have been cheaper to use real pliers.
I think so.
But then they put a disclaimer in the bottom. No pliers were injured during the making of this film.
Yeah, that's a promise I can't make.
You gotta put that in your next video. No tools were injured in the making of this film.
But I can't say it if it's not true.
If they're not injured.
Well, they might be.
Then
I don't like to promise that tools are safety.
Holy Snap-on tools were injured in the making of this video. Would you be sued then? Would that be a possibility?
No, I can say Snap-on.
No. You don't have to be like, you don't have to say it like faster and like Snap-on.
No, I can.
Snap-on.
I bleep it out.
With a accent, Snap-on.
Yeah, the French version. No, I can say names, okay.
See, I mean, like some of the tool companies we could bring up, nobody even know who they were.
That's true.
You know, you were telling me earlier that Matco is the second largest tool company. I'm like, I haven't seen a Matco dealer in my area in a while.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting history.
I haven't bought a Matco tool since 1990 something. I mean, like it's been that long.
Yeah, they've had an interesting history, but yeah, they're in the tool truck industry. Snap-on's number 1, Matco's number 2, Mac's number 3, and they've been number 3 ever since Matco became a company in the late 70s as a group of Mac employees separated and formed Matco. And then independent tool trucks are number 4 in the industry, and then Cornwell is number 5. And that's according to statistics I was reading in a Tool Distributor magazine a couple months ago.
So what you're saying is you're 4th place.
Yes. Woo! Winning!
You're like the Flint.
Yes.
You're like the Flint Tropics from City Pro. 4th place. You're gonna fire off the cannon. It's gonna shoot confetti. It'll be glorious.
Right.
The trophy's 11 feet high.
Yeah, I don't think
place.
I'm not really gunning for number 1. I don't think that's going to happen. But
Number 1. You're the number 1 dealer on your route.
Well, in this area, I have no way of comparing.
So let me ask you a question. Since most of your viewers already know you have 2 trucks.
Yeah.
So who's the number 1 salesman right now?
Oh, man, this guy. It's okay. Tyler's kicking my ass though. He's actually doing pretty well. I think before too long he's going to eclipse me.
Oh man. Then you'll be the 2nd best salesman.
I'll be the second best tool guy in the company. But that's the way I want it. I was hoping to find somebody who would be better at this than I am.
But you don't want to be the 2nd best tool guy in the company and only one employee though.
Well, not only one employee.
Turns out the online sales are doing better than the in-person sales.
I wouldn't mind that either, but
yeah, well, there'd be a lot less driving.
That's true. Well,
maybe to go and drop off tools or something.
Maybe.
Like that. But, all right, you want to finish up on this box?
Sure.
All right, so we were talking about tool storage in the side cabinet, and what I would do in the side cabinet would be like low-mo cases that I'm not going to go and grab all the time. Like I have like certain specialty tools that I'm not going to get out, like pullers and slide hammers and stuff like that. Those are going to go in the bottom drawer. I got my hub grappler would probably go over here. My ball joint press, I would see if the drawers could support my ball joint press, because I would keep my ball joint press where I could just go pull it open, flip the lid, get whatever the arbor and whatever pieces out that I need for said job. Yeah, but that's how I do it. I do stackables, blow molds, probably hammers in this guy too. And then something interesting I saw before was guys were taking, I don't know if we could do it on this one or not, but they were taking like screwdriver holders and they were putting their punches and chisels vertical. So when they open the door,
on the inside of the door, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen
that. When they open the door, they go and they pull their punches and chisels out. They can just go and they can eyeball it. They're not like, oh, damn, where is that damn, where's that thing at? Like for me, it's all about being efficient. It goes back to this about what we were talking about earlier about knowing where your stuff is, having it organized, and being able to get to it in a timely fashion. It's going to pay dividends. I mean, you may not believe it at first, but it really will. And I promise you, I am not the fastest guy out there, but this helps me a lot. So,
but if you're the most efficient,
yeah, well, you also have to be pretty decent about making sure that when you check something out, you're right.
Yes, I mean, skill, knowledge, and experience all count too.
Yeah, that plays into it, but being efficient. So if you're starting off, you're a new guy in the shop and you're doing oil changes and like brake jobs, right? Have all your stuff ready to go, know where it is, don't be looking for anything, stay on task, stay on track, and then, show the guys you work with that you're willing to advance, because that's a big deal. Not, like if you just go and you have the same 5 Harbor Freight sockets that you've had forever, if that's your oil change sockets, that's fine. I'm not gonna knock you for that. Make sure that you're not rounding off bolts by using, inferior products. But if you go on the truck and you're like, okay, well this week I'm gonna update, I'm getting this socket set. Although this wouldn't be a socket set that you'd use for that. But if you're doing brake jobs, especially on like Chevrolets, you might want to get this set right here. But as a shop, or as a business owner, I won't say shop owner because I run a shop, I don't own one. But as a business owner, I would say, like, if I was watching a guy progress his way up, he's building his tool collection, he's gonna be given harder jobs with the opportunity to advance. Now, does it happen overnight? Absolutely not. Like it took me, I went through several different periods. Like when I first started off, like I figured out like a whole bunch of stuff right away, and I was like to the top like fast. And I was like, man, I'm gonna make $100 a year. And this was like 2000, and then I hit a flat spot, and then I kind of tapered down, and I got real complacent. And then I worked through it, and I got a little older, got a little more experience, and then it hit me one day where I was like, oh, this is what I need to do differently. After that, I've just been going and going and going and going and going. I wish I was still on that financial path I was before, because that was pretty fun.
Well, yeah.
but you know, 21-year-old has no business making $100,000. None. I promise you, I was that guy.
But you know, you made a good point, and that is showing a willingness to invest in your tools and your career and your position within a particular shop is going to pay dividends, because that's how you move up in the world.
Yeah. The other thing is, don't get yourself in so much debt that all you're doing is making tool bills. Payments.
No.
So we'll have to make a whole other video on that. I'll tell you how this works, how that scam works. But the best thing is like, what do you offer for first time line of credit? Like, what's your on truck line of credit?
Like on truck, if I don't even know you, you're gonna get a $500 credit line,
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And so you got to think about, like, if you buy $500 with tools, you need to throw at least 10% down.
Yeah.
Most tool guys want you to throw 20% down, 25% down. So on $500, you know, you're talking $100. Yeah. So you want to throw that down, and you're gonna be making a weekly payment of, you know, probably $50.
Right.
Would be my guess.
Yep.
And you know, if you're a new guy coming in the business, you know, $500 can go a long way on this truck. Like, as opposed to the Snap-on truck. I mean, you could get some socket sets, you could get some ratchets, you know, you could get fixed up, especially on deals. I mean, there's all of the trucks have, you know, certain deals. So like the Snap-on truck's not bad. I like it. If you go and look at my toolbox, 85% of my tools are all Snap-on. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I bought my stuff, I wanted to buy it one time. You know, like I was using a Craftsman set that I got when I was 16, and I used it up until I was about 20, and then, you know, from, you know, probably age of 18, I had started buying more tools. But for a while, all we had was the Snap-on guy. I'm not bragging because I'm not this big Snap-on snob. You know, that's all we had. We only had a Snap-on dealer. We didn't have a Mac. We didn't Mac go. They weren't around. But you know, then we started getting more tool dealers. You know, we had Lindsay was actually a Mac dealer for a while, and he was our second dealer. We hadn't had anybody else until we had a second dealer. We didn't have Cornwell. We didn't have Matco. We didn't have, you know, any of the other ones for probably a 10-year period. We went like 2 years with a Snap-on dealer.
That's surprising, because I know the one thing that really sets Snap-on apart is they're always around. So even if people don't get other tool trucks, they'll usually always get a Snap-on truck, and that's why they get so much of the business, because they really know how to cover an area. Oh yeah, you know, better than anyone else.
They have some great sales tactics too. They really get guys hook, line, and sinker on some of the stuff. Like how many guys own a Snap-on scanner? Yeah, right here, me. They're like, well, you can get this for, you know, 4 easy payments. And I'm like, well, I'll pay that off in a year. And then, you know, then you get used to making this big payment, and you buy another box, and then all of a sudden you got, you know, Snap-on house, you got the Snap-on car, and it's out of control, you know.
Your kids say Snap-on their foreheads.
Your son's name is Snap, and your daughter's name is Tool. You know, like, come on. It's terrible. Jump cut that one, by the
way. Yeah, it's not all going in.
Yeah, no, please don't. But no, but that's you know, it's a whole nother video series. We could make several videos on how to buy. Like, so if I'm starting off in the business and I'm doing a lot of oil changes and brake jobs, I want to make sure I have a good set of sockets, a good set of ratchets, some strap wrenches, some caliper wind back tools, whether that's the actual wind back tool or just, you know, whatever you have as far as those go. Decent impact. Doesn't have to be electric. You don't have to have this guy, right? You don't have to have it. But the good thing is this right here is as good as most half-inch guns. So, but you don't have to have it. You get a good impact, you know, good set of impact sockets, and a torque wrench. That will take you a long way. You can advance a long way. And guys, the number one thing I'm gonna tell you is torque your stuff to spec. Don't guess it. Don't run it in, because you never know when the shop air is low. You never know when the battery's low. You never know when you've got something wrong. Run it in, torque it. I promise you, it will help you out in the long run. Because if you can go and leave a job at the end of the day and go, I torqued everything, I know everything's tight, I torqued it, I didn't rely on my impact, you're gonna be a lot happier.
Yep.
So I will tell you that as a business owner, you want to torque your stuff. You want to make sure. It's like when you check stuff out, you're not gonna go and load the old parts can in and give her a little pull to hit the car with. You want to make for sure that you've got everything you need.
It's surprising the amount of liability that being that attentive to detail can protect you against, and the amount of time it takes to do right is certainly more than worth the amount of time it'll take you to correct a mistake that was made as a result of not doing it right.
Yeah. But now We've had pretty good video today.
Well, that's not bad.
Not bad.
I know.
We have
Very few jump cuts are going to be recorded in this one. Oh, well.
The delete button's going to be like the But no, but it was a good video. I liked it. So I'm just waiting. There's a Milwaukee tool that's not here yet, but I'm waiting to see. So.
The 90-degree impact. I just ordered them.
Yeah.
They just released the 3/8.
You know, Joe's All-Star Tools, he has them, but Coyle Tools doesn't have them. And Recoil Firearms does not have them.
No, yet. But I put the order in late last week because I just saw the announcement that they're available.
It'll be a video.
Oh, there'll be a video on this. I want to get these in people's hands. I'd love to get people's first-hand experience using them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's good.
I can't wait. And the guys that are holding them, they can't believe how small they are, but how much power they have.
I know, and their head is actually shorter than their stubby impact gun.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get these on the truck.
I can't wait. I'm excited because, you know, like there's a lot of hard angle, tight angle stuff that, you know, 220 foot-pounds would definitely remove.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, can't wait. So yeah. Till then, you won't see this on the truck until there's a 1/2 inch or 3/8
the 3/8
right angle impact or left angle, depending on which direction you're going. Which direction you're holding it. So, all right. Well, I'll let Lindsay close out the video here.
All right.
So.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
No, it's great to have you on, and appreciate the input and the feedback.
So, America, tell Lindsay that you want to see more of this guy. You want to see the toolbox where we do the toolbox to see if we can fill this monster mobile toolbox with my entire Snap-on box. And we'll do before we do it, we'll do a toolbox tour of my box.
That would be a very good video. As you can tell by the stuff we're talking about, there's going to be loads of stuff coming up. So do me a favor, click down here to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Remember, use a tool. Don't be one. And we're out. Cut!